Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. Guys, Superman has officially released for the European servers, and if you haven't already, make sure to go and get him right now today because he is free for a limited time. So I went ahead, jumped in like right as soon as I got the notification that Superman was free to play and I could, go and download him or, add him to my roster. I went in, logged into the game, immediately grabbed the Man of Steel, and here we go. This is Superman, also known as Clark Kent Kal-El. He's pretty awesome. So now we can actually take a look at some of his abilities and his names and stuff. I did put out a video talking about what his abilities are, and I was generally pretty right. Like I was almost 100% correct, just that names were slightly different. So let's go ahead and run through his abilities real quick before we actually jump into a match with him. Now, he is a warrior tank with a lot of mobility and a lot of charging abilities. Like almost every single ability that he has, he charges forward, either knocking back or slowing the enemies, or so let's take a look at this. Now he's got his this is his passive called Flight. Superman has two modes, flying and walking. He gains 2% movement speed and charges energy for every 100 units he walks, and takes flight once energy is fully charged. Flight mode grants 20% movement speed when moving towards an enemy, and his normal attacks deal an additional damage equal to 12% of his own maximum HP. Superman exits flight mode when he is hit with a control effect that lowers his movement speed to 375 or less. So he doesn't have, I said in my video that he had a slight debuff when coming out of flight mode. That's not true. What it was saying was if a crowd control effect lowers his movement speed below 375, then he'll exit flight mode. So just a little bit of a correction on there. Now, in the video, I think I said that this one was like super strength or something. It's actually Kryptonian strength. Superman uses his ice breath to generate a blizzard that deals 250 physical damage to enemies and slows their movement speed by 50% for 1 second. And in flight mode, Superman rams into enemies, dealing 170 plus 12 of his maximum HP because of his, his flight ability, and then fires his heat vision, dealing an additional 250 physical damage. His next one is, if I can click on it, Man of Steel, which I was right on that, so I was actually pretty proud. Superman unleashes his full power, which immediately frees him from control effects and significantly increases his movement speed. If in flight mode, Superman will slam the ground and knock back enemies, dealing 335 physical damage, as well as rid himself of control effects and increase his movement speed. So I did have somebody mention like I should come out with a video talking about ways to counter Superman. But it's difficult because he has this second ability that gets rid of crowd control effects. And I was going to say, if you can get him out of flight mode, he disables a lot of his stronger abilities. But because he's got that Man of Steel ability right there, it's hard to take him down. I'll have to play him a little bit, go up against him, see what I can do to find out a way to kind of counter him. Then his ultimate called Speeding Bullet. Now I said it was Superman, completely wrong right there. Superman taps into his full potential, which increases his charge up speed by 100% for 10 seconds. That means start charging up his energy for his movement, for his flight ability to activate. And then if he's in flight mode, Superman will ram into his enemies and knock them back, dealing 170 damage plus 12% of his maximum HP, and have his charge up speed increased by 100% for 10 seconds. So either way, activating this will allow you to activate all of his flight abilities a lot quicker. Now it doesn't have, which I was a little interested in, they don't have his other skin. It's like white and black skin, so I was a little disappointed that they didn't have it released in the game, and I don't know when that's actually coming out. So let's go ahead and see if we can find a match to jump into. Hopefully nobody takes Superman. I have a feeling a lot of people are going to want to play him because he is free to play, and he just released today. So let's go ahead and jump into a battle and see. I'm probably going to be really bad with Superman, but we're just going to have a lot of fun, okay guys? So I'll be right back. Alright, so here we are in the game. So I decided to go with a bot match instead because every time I try to do one through casual match, everyone would try to steal Superman from me. So you can see I'm in flight mode. It's all activated. I can run around, shoot. I got increased movement speed, which actually is quite a lot. He's got an insane amount of movement speed. So the first item I actually end up picking up is these boots of speed. I figured you're going to want as fast of movement speed as possible with him because the faster you go, the faster you can actually gather up your energy. So, what I found is you're going to want... Ooh, shoot, that was weird. I got like locked into where what I was trying to do. First blood. Now remember, this isn't a bot match, so it's probably not going to be that hard. Slow him down with the frost breath. I love the fact that he's actually got a whole lot of different abilities. So I'm actually going to run up to the top lane. Okay, never mind. Looks like somebody else is going up to the top lane. Got my second ability now. So he's got this like laser charge ability. Oh, that was weird. Hold on. So you have to keep moving. You have to keep moving. So it's kind of weird. I'm not sure. This is super weird. Look at my oh, that is so weird. I was like trying to use, you can see my mouse wheel trying to activate that ability, but it's actually where his where he's moving to. So that's interesting. So if you want to aim it, you got to make sure that you're walking in the right direction. Laser, super strength. Actually, I shouldn't have activated. I should have activated that when he had a like when he was being slowed or something. Now with him, I'm gonna go attack damage and movement speed. Because like I said, if you can get the movement speed, you can actually activate it a lot more. Almost. Oh my gosh, I'm like really close to dying too. Now I will say, and something that you guys will probably notice as soon as you try to play Superman as well, is when it comes to aiming his abilities, you have to aim by moving towards the target. You can't just like hold down his ability and like move your thumb around on the right side to try to get the ability to go where you want it to. You actually have to move in the direction that you want the ability to hit, which it's kind of throwing me off a little bit because I keep trying to aim with my right thumbstick. So that might throw some people off. But I believe with his other abilities, you can actually aim it with your right thumb. So that was really throwing me off for a second right there. I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can't help my teammate up here. Now when you basic attack out of his speed, he'll actually charge the enemy. So like that. See how I charged? Which is really cool, but a lot of his abilities are charging abilities, which is really interesting. He's got a lot of them. So if you don't like somebody that can charge and you gotta try to aim with your movement, Superman might not be the guy for you. So slow him down. I got my ultimate. Well, let's activate that. That'll increase my movement, so then I go like this. Laser him down. Ooh, that was bad. Do you see what I mean? It's weird. Like, it's weird to get used to him. I'm like trying to readjust, like okay, come on, we can do this. It's weird getting used to him because you have to really pay attention to his energy bar that fills up right below him, because it'll fill up, you know, once it fills up, your abilities all change. I was trying to use something else and I ended up using a charge ability, not what I wanted, and so I ended up going right into the tower. So just be careful of that, guys, because that is a little tricky. He's a lot harder to play than I initially anticipated. So, you know what, we've got nobody up in the top lane, so I might as well go over there and push. I don't know what our other teammate was doing. I swear they were going up there. There we go, there we go. Now, one thing I'm a little sad about is I honestly thought that once activating your ultimate and going into flight mode, it would go on instant cooldown. I don't know why I thought about that, but I did. Whoa, that was weird. There we go. I guess we'll have, I guess one of my teammates ended up leaving, which is the worst. So one thing I do like, I did notice he has a 2% increase of movement speed compared to other characters, which is a little nice because I was able to catch up to the butterfly and be able to get one more hit on them. So I do like that. So now if I activate, I don't want to activate my ultimate just yet. I'm gonna pump up my flight mode and then I can activate it. Ooh, let's back up. Man, it is weird that he has so many charge abilities. It's really getting to me.
Ally has been defeated.
I do like that knockback though. If you can get that timed really easy, you can push them into the tower or push them away. Now you gotta keep moving. You gotta just keep moving around when it comes to Superman. You don't want to slow down, because his flight abilities are the ones that do the most damage. So if you want to do as much damage as possible, you want to make sure that you're always constantly in flight mode. So I'm probably gonna die right here. Unless I run away. Which was a really, really close one. Wow, that was super close. I do like that he has such high mobility. It's really, really awesome. When he goes into his flight mode, the fact that like he can move around so quickly is really, really good. That's probably my personal favorite thing about him. So if I could kind of give my pros and cons so far of Superman, I'd say his movement speed is fantastic, but however, his abilities are a little tricky to aim because you gotta try to aim it with your movement rather than your right joystick, like a lot of other champions. So I do want to activate his ultimate. I still haven't had a chance to use it.
Do what's right.
So, ooh. Alright, so I'm gonna try to move away. And now I've got his flight mode activated. There we go. Look at that. That was awesome. That is really, really sweet. The Superman logo appears in everything. That's so cool. Okay, we got a Valheim over here. Be careful, because you notice that I ended up charging in there, and I didn't really want to. I ended up charging right underneath. Only because I keep forgetting that his passive makes it so he ends up charging forward. So if you want to try to just do a basic attack, make sure to slow down for a second before charging in. Because if you stop moving, it completely goes away, so. See, just like that, just like that. Oh my gosh. He's kind of hard to get used to. I do like it though. Like he's definitely one of the more interesting characters in the game.
Shut down.
And he's a lot of fun to play. You know, we finally get to be the Kryptonian son, the Man of Steel. But he is, I'm glad that I decided to go into a bot match rather than into like a legit match against other players because guys,
Destroyed a tower.
I'm already getting slightly wrecked as Superman. Now I'm gonna actually just push mid because we got one of our teammates following us, and I'm just gonna go ahead and push up this way. So, but I honestly, if you can get his abilities down, he's got so many knockbacks. But his knockbacks only happen when he's in flight mode, so pay attention to that. He's got hardly any knockback when it comes to when it comes to his walking abilities. Now you notice I ended up stopping because I didn't want to go charging in there with his flight mode, because I just know that if I charged in there with his flight mode, I would have ended up flying into the turret and getting attacked because I didn't have any minions there. So I stopped, waited, and then jumped in so I could just do basic attacks. So be careful of that. Be careful of his charge abilities. Even though they're really useful, he's got a lot of them, and they can happen when you least expect it. It might end up pushing you to the tower, like it happened to me like 3 times in this game. Well guys, that's it. That's all I wanted to do for Superman. Just get a quick video out there for you guys. I want to get a little bit more experience under my belt before I actually go out and maybe play some ranked or casual games with him and try to find out some builds or some counters. It's a little weird because if you can crowd control him when he's in his flight mode, that's probably the key right there. If you crowd control him in his flight mode, get him out of it with a silence, then he can't end up using his second ability, his Kryptonian strength, to bust out of the crowd control ability. That might be one of the best ways to counter him. I'll have to do a little bit of experimentation to see if that's true. But guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more Arena of Valor gameplay videos. Alright guys, we'll see ya.